What does it mean, spirited influencers?
Not those shitty
Ghosts?
influencers. Spirited influencers.
Ooh, spooky influencers.
Hi, this is Caitlin,
And this is Sharon.
and welcome to Real Housewives on Real Housewives, where we unravel housewives' story threads and keep the tea flowing.
So chic.
Hold on to your peaches.
This week, we're digging into Courtney Rhodes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15.
So our verses this week. Okay, I'm going to try it in a Courtney voice, okay? It's Courtney versus Kandi, and Courtney versus Cousins, and Courtney versus Duro.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was lovely. Courtney, who sounds like that, she's
Yes.
48 years old. She is a successful brand marketing expert and jewelry designer. Her brand is Courtney Ralph, which focuses on statement jewelry for spirited influencers.
Ghosts.
She's divorced. Apparently, a lot of this cast actually knew her ex-husband. She's single now, 25-year-old daughter. She is supposedly on the show because she is friends with Sheree through their children.
Yeah, I'm going to read into that and say that's they wave at each other at the school pickup line. And that's all she ever knew
Or
about Courtney.
used to,
Yeah.
'cause-
And then once she was like, oh, I like your necklace. She was all like, thanks, I designed them myself.
Yes, exactly. You know, they should do a collab. She by Sheree.
She can put
Courtney Raquel.
cheap jewelry on that website. Yeah. And I don't like the Raquel because that's the mistress on Vanderpump Rules. And it just feels like I kind of have these theories about Courtney being a mistress. So it's like when you put those two together, it just makes her sound even
It
more.
does sound like a mistress name.
Kind of,
doesn't it?
does. Maybe it's like the lack of using your last name just makes you sound like less legit or something. I don't know.
Yeah. A little shadier. I'm not sure.
All right. So, I mean, this is her first season, but she's a friend of.
Thank goodness.
So we can't stand the way she talks. I was trying to think of, but we do like, and I couldn't finish that sentence.
There's just something so weird about her. And
There
I
is
remember
something
when
weird.
I was first watching, I texted Caitlin and I was like, this Courtney chick, I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but oh my God. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, just wait.
I feel like if she hadn't, like, we'll talk about it when we get to Drew and Ralph. Like, I feel like if it hadn't ended the way that it had, she would have been written out.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, she gave nothing to the season except for the fact that she kind of fits in with their drama.
Yes.
But that's the only thing that makes her relevant. Like, nothing on her own is relevant. Like you said,
Absolutely.
she was kind of clout chasing Marlo.
Yeah.
Because, like, she was offering to help her expunge her record. But, like, at the same time,
So she's helping Marlo get her record expunged
Right.
because Marlo wants to buy a firearm. And Marlo says, no one else ever helped me with that before. None of the other girls.
right.
And we're
Courtney
like,
did it to get a peach.
yeah, I'm sure Courtney doesn't know how to do it. The other girls do know how to do it. And Courtney probably like hired a lawyer herself to
Or
like.
a plum, because that's what Drew threw at her at the reunion because she couldn't find a peach. Which at first I was like, that's weird. But now I'm like, no, I think all she deserves is a plum. I'm
Is
standing
that,
with her.
I like plums.
Oh, I love plums, but
And if you dry them, they become prunes.
that's right.
You can't dry peaches. You get
Don't dry Courtney. I don't want to keep her longer. All right, let's go into our first verses, which is Courtney versus Kandi.
Okay.
So the background information on that is that initially at it's Sanya's 40th birthday party for Ross, there's this whole discussion that Kandi was calling around and asking about Courtney. And Courtney's kind of like maybe gave the impression that they knew each other.
Yeah.
But they didn't, according to Kandi. And even Courtney kind of sort of admits that they didn't, but it's almost like, why are you asking about me? Why are you asking about me?
So this is where I get confused. And I know basically it kind of comes off like Courtney was trying to make it seem like she knew Kandi.
Right.
But Courtney told people that Kandi was asking about
Right. Because I think that Kandi was saying, have you heard this girl talking about me? Because I have friends that say she was asking about me. And then I almost feel like maybe, and maybe I'm reading this wrong, but maybe that Courtney flipped it to be like, no, you were asking about me. Like, I'm so important.
Okay.
But at the same time, Candy's like, just because we know people that like run in side by side circles, it doesn't mean that we know each other.
Yeah.
It's a weird fight, but Kandi gets really, really super mad and like wants to headbutt her.
Yeah, she actually says headbutt.
And I think it's just like, I think the whole reason that has like any purpose is that I sounded a little Valley Girl there as I started to say it. I was like, I can't say Courtney things now. But I think the only reason that it matters is it just sort of proves how annoying Courtney is and how she kind of like latches, like she's trying so hard to make herself relevant the whole season that like she'll just take any fight to get herself on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. Because she says she doesn't have to clout chase. But this is your
It's absolutely
fight. This is your first fight.
And no offense, but if you're kind of want to be on the Housewives, there's a little bit of clout chasing. And that's like kind of how you prove yourself to get on the show. Like you have to prove your clout.
Yes, she very much latches on because she latches on here to this Kandi thing. And then she's latching onto Marlo by helping her find a lawyer, which she's a jewelry designer. I have no idea what she...
Like, you know, jewelry law is really close to ex-felon law.
And then she kind of latches onto Drew and Ralph.
Right.
She like gets her claws in people.
She totally does. Because I mean, when we get into the cousin thing, it's like just throwing that label on it and they say it 8,000 times. Like she's trying to prove her legitimacy.
Yes.
She also like says that she looks down on ghetto things and she makes it sound like she thinks Kandi's really ghetto, which also like, come on, what are you doing? Like you're trying to pick a fight where there doesn't need to be one.
Yeah.
So I mean, who wins there?
Kandi. Like I'm assuming everyone thinks Courtney's wacko, right?
I would think so. I mean, I only think Marlo's hanging out with her to
get the lawyer.
To get the
free legal
legal
help. Wait, so okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure that it's not like when you go online, there's actually a group of Courtney huggers or
not that I
tree huggers.
Yeah, not
in
that I
Jersey.
know of. I don't think anybody likes her. I haven't run across anyone who's like, she's so fun. Like she adds so much to the show. All right, let's do Courtney versus cousins.
Okay, this just makes me stabby. It really makes me angry.
I mean, cousins are confusing anyway.
Okay. It makes me angry when people act like they're more related than they are.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like, unless you're someone's half brother or half sister.
Yes. It's kind of like when all that ancestry stuff came down and people would be like, I'm like 10 spaces removed from the Queen of England. Yeah, like unless she invites you to her parties, like you're not that close.
It's like, so are like 10 million other people. Mm-hmm.
And I felt like whenever we read whatever it was, I can't even re-explain how they're related because it's really
all I know is
weird,
that
and marriage is involved.
Yeah, and they spent time at the same aunt's house.
Right. It's like, so you'd been in, you and I've been at the same McDonald's. Does that mean we're related? We're in the room right now together. Yeah, exactly. Are we related?
And it's like, who cares? You're a cousin. To me, a cousin is not like, I mean, I have cousins.
Yeah.
And they're my first cousins. And these are like, I don't even know.
And there's even like, there's that level of like, you have a few cousins. Those are your fun cousins. And then there's Courtney, who's a not fun cousin. But like you have those cousins that are like once removed or whatever. Yeah. And like, but those are often like your mom's cousins. Yes. So you can see like if you can't see the relationship and it involves somebody marrying somebody, then you just say, we grew up in the same town. Yeah. Or whatever. Like we knew each other.
We're peripherally related.
Yes.
You don't actually act like you're actually cousins.
And they kept saying, cousin Courtney's coming over. Yeah. Why can't we just say Courtney's coming over?
And she said something once like, well, how could you do that to family? It's like, family? What you talking
so
about?
Who cares?
You don't even know each other.
No. It's really, really
It really makes me angry.
Me too. I hate too, like every time she refers to Ralph, she's like, how's my cousin? Like, stop. Just how's Ralph? How's your husband?
Maybe there is a theory that they're kissing cousins.
Ooh, that was good. No, I kind of believe it. So like some people were saying that she had lived in Tampa and that's where Ralph went for those few days unknown. Okay, the theory is that she and he, like he's actually, like she's his mistress and that they're messing around and that he got her on the show so that she would get to be on the show. And they just came in as cousins.
But wouldn't someone know that?
You would think.
Wouldn't someone have seen them? Or?
I feel, but at the same time, it's like it made me question every single glance. And like at the reunion when she comes in and they like hug and he kind of like his hand kind of lingers. And like sometimes when they see each other across I don't know. I just got so suspicious. I felt like I was like somebody's like wronged wife because I was all like, what did you see the way he looked at her?
Does that mean she's not really Sheree's friend?
No, I don't think so either. I think she's just full of it across the board. I mean, they didn't even know they were cousins before Ross's party also, which again, that feels very convenient to me because it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
and how would you find that out?
Yeah. And also, if Drew says that he was coaching Courtney all season, I'm not sure maybe coaching is the right word, but they were clearly hanging out on the side and he was telling her everything. And she got all the dirt on the relationship and everything that was going on. She had all of it.
Maybe she pretended like she was this cousin so she could like
Just
infiltrate and get the dirt from him. Like,
That would be
seriously,
awesome.
that makes more sense to me than she's the mistress.
Yeah, it
she's
kind
just
of
a
does.
straight up liar.
That's hilarious. Just be like, it's like some like
She probably
undercover cousins.
She
or
probably
something.
like stalked him or something and went through the whole ancestry family tree thing. And
I found a really tenuous relationship to one of the members of the cast of Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I'm going to use
I'm
it.
coming in as cousin Courtney. It's like a drinking game. Like every time they say cousin, like you'd be trashed. Okay, we have a who wins on this, but like I don't like Ralph. I don't like Courtney.
Yeah. This is so ridiculous.
Nobody.
It makes me angry.
It's a draw. It's a bye. They
It's
didn't even play
lose-lose.
that week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Courtney versus Drew.
And this one I don't understand either.
Yeah. So this, is going to coincide a little bit with the Drew episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the big issue, I guess, just to lay out is that obviously Ralph and Drew are married. They're having a lot of troubles in their relationship. And so this whole time, like there is this tension and it is kind of like whose side is Courtney on? And so when we get to, they're in Portugal and Marlo is filming all this footage, as is Monguetta.
At night when the cameras aren't there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when they replay the footage, they show that the person in front of Courtney speaking is actually Sanya and not Drew. But at the same time, she's saying something that, BITCH. And Monguetta claims that she is talking about Courtney, which I kind of am inclined to agree because what does she have against?
It's really confusing.
It's really confusing.
You can't unless someone explains it to you and
Right.
you have to believe them. Like there's no way just listening. I would know that's what she's saying. That she's calling Drew that.
Exactly. But what I hate is they talk about it at Drew's event, which is the mental health retreat for her sister, Allison. And Courtney's like, I just never, that's not even a word I would say. Which is like my favorite new housewife thing. Like, you know me, I don't say that.
I don't say that word.
Well, maybe you got mad and said,
Yeah, exactly.
That's not an argument. Just say I didn't say it. That's not a word I would say.
Yeah. Unless it's like a regional word.
Right. There you go.
This is a word used in like Washington
Or like if someone
State.
said, and she
Spendy.
ordered a Pepsi, and I would be like,
yeah.
I did not.
And you're from Oklahoma and you never say spendy.
Exactly.
And then you can say, that's not a word I would say.
And you're like, I don't say it that way. But like, I don't think you could say that about the B word unless you're like, I'm a person who never swears.
Yeah.
And then she does it on the
later
way
on.
out. Right. Like literally a couple minutes later as she's leaving, she says it. And then they're like, I thought you never said that. It's like, well, clearly she does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the argument with them is basically that Courtney, we always complain that Ralph is kind of a gaslighter. Well, Courtney kind of is too. Like they're on the same wavelength. So, she's like saying all these things like Drew's a liar and Drew does all these things. And she's kind of in Ralph's ear and he's in her ear. And I think the whole problem is that Drew just feels like nobody has her back. And no matter what, it seems like Ralph always has Courtney's back, which is, I think, why it's also suspicious that whether she's his mistress or not, he's got her back and he doesn't have Drew's back.
The more we talk about this, the more I agree. I think she is just somehow infiltrated.
Yeah.
And he's being manipulated by Courtney.
I would believe it. I just feel like she's the kind of person who like A, likes her claws and things, and B, such a clout chaser that she's trying to get on the show. Like, it's not it's a good try, but I don't think there's any way she'll be back next season because Ralph won't be back next season.
Oh yeah, because they're getting divorced.
So I don't know what she thinks she's doing unless, no. Please don't bring her back. Please, please, please. I can't stand her.
Oh, God.
Like every time she's on the screen, I just want to like put the pillows on the couch over my ears and just.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I want to hold them up to the screen.
Yeah, well, or just throw them at them. But I like my TV. I don't like Courtney.
Yeah.
All right, so who wins there? Courtney kind of wins.
No, Courtney kind of wins.
Because she gets to call her names and she gets to kind of like gaslight her. And
yeah. And Drew just feels crazy at the end.
I don't like this because I felt like Courtney was going to lose everything. And now as we're saying it, it's like, no, she kind
of came out on top.
Played the game pretty well.
She did.
Nobody likes her though. That's the only thing though, is like you said.
But sometimes that's not a problem.
No, that isn't because everyone needs a villain.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like her though. She's the worst. And then I don't like it when she kind of gets breathy either. That drives me crazy. Oh, we just whispered, so Thomas is going to be annoyed because he's always like, you say the funny stuff and you guys whisper. Don't whisper.
Sorry, Thomas.
Sorry, we didn't mean to whisper. All right. Well, that is our Courtney episode.
That was fast.
It is. It's a quick little wrap up, but I'm happy.
We don't like her.
I can't spend that much time on her. For a follow up with this, definitely listen to our Drew episode 2 because that will explain a lot more.
Yeah.
They really go hand in hand. And then after Atlanta, we're going to be heading into the OC.
Yay.
Which is one of our beloved
Yep.
franchises. So, yep. All right.
Yep.
Remember, housewives bring the drama.
But we bring the receipts. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to help support us, please share it with others and leave a rating and review. Also, visit us on Instagram and Twitter, both at RH_on_RH for fun pictures and polls, or email us at rhonrhpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and remember to stay out of the shade.